Hey guys, so welcome. And today we have my guest, lovely Tracy, all the way from Italy. Tracy, very, very welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. Very well. Very well. How are you?
I'm good, Tracy. Thank you so much for agreeing your time to do this interview for my audience. Can you tell a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you are exactly, what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a single mom. I live 1 hour north of Venice in Italy. Um, I've been in Italy for 30 years. Moved here on a whim when I was 21. Italy chose me. I wasn't meant to be here, but I ended up here, and I believe it was the right thing for me and for my personality. And yeah, and I got into coaching. I retrained as a professional coach at the start of 2017. And my coaching practice has evolved over the years to more and more mind body wellness. And I'm really just helping entrepreneurs go from warrior to warrior and let go of overwhelm, right? And just take charge of their health and wealth also, so that they can feel grounded, energized, and empowered. And nothing gives me more satisfaction. Like, I just love helping people, men and women. I'm not just working with women, but usually entrepreneurs. And I've also got another business, collaborating with a Scandinavian health tech company. And I'm growing a team of empowered people with that as well. And they're the pioneers of personalized test-based nutrition. So
Amazing.
helping people to come back into balance with the test-based nutrition.
Yeah, would you love to touch a little bit more how that works?
Yeah, it all happened by chance, like most things. Not that there is such a thing as chance or coincidence in a quantum universe, but it was a coaching client of mine that spoke to me about the balance soil and Zinzino, and it got me curious. So I started taking it as a customer. I got myself tested. I loved what they're doing, just how grounded. I'm got a very sciencey mind. Yeah, so they have got incredible products that are really changing lives. And I just growing up in England, English people like we take a lot of nutritional supplements. But we usually go to Boots, the chemist, to get our nutritional supplements, right? And we're spending money hoping it's working, but we don't know. We don't know if we need it, we don't know in what dosage, and we don't know if it's working or not. And so I loved the idea that I could test and see. And I was adamant that I didn't need it at the beginning because I'd been taking, for example, really good quality omega-3 product for 20 years prior. It got my first test results back. I was out of balance. It wasn't working. So if we're not testing, we're guessing. And I
Mm,
it just made so much sense for me
yeah.
to
So the
see what's
product,
going on the inside, right? Otherwise, it's guesswork.
absolutely, Trace, absolutely. And it's amazing to hear that it works. And then when you test it, it showed you basically, it confirmed that
Yeah,
it is
I
work.
was out of balance. So out of balance for the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, which is our number one biomarker for health, right? It tells us how much chronic inflammation we have, how healthy our cell membranes are. We are 37 trillion cells. If we've got a problem with our cell membranes, we got a problem, right? And so, yeah, and then 4 months later, on the balance saw I was perfectly back in balance. According to the science, the ratio that science recommends is 3 to 1 or less.
Yeah, and it's amazing, Trace.
Oh, yeah. And my health improved so much from getting rid of the chronic inflammation.
And you, yeah.
Yeah, we don't realize how many things we got going on, like niggly little annoying health problems that actually have their root cause in chronic inflammation.
Mm.
Like I was getting brain fog. I was getting recurring cystitis.
Mm.
I was getting picking up bugs and infections that my children had. I was getting like pain in my knees when I go running.
So common.
I was getting just not feeling generally well. Getting the brain fog was really annoying. Um, and also the worst thing was I was getting like skin irritation. It was coming out, breaking out in like little red rashes. Only on my neck and skin and face. Like, great, thanks. Not where I could hide it or anything, just totally where it was visible. And I ended up in hospital at one stage when it got so bad on cortisone injections, and then oral cortisone to bring down the inflammation. I, there was so much I didn't know about the role that omega-3 really plays in the body.
It's
Omega-3 protected by polyphenols because that's the key.
it's amazing. Thank you so much, Tracy, that for sharing that. I actually, it happens that I also did the test the same. And you know, they say three, is it 3 to 1? You want to have your omega-3 to something like that.
Exactly, 3 to 1 or less. In our DNA, it's one of each, right? Mother Nature knew what she was doing, right? It's the ingenious light switch of Mother Nature. One turns on the inflammatory response, one turns it off. Dun, dun,
Mm.
dun. And that's how it should be, right? We cut ourselves, have an accident. Our body mounts this life-saving inflammatory response. But then when the emergency passes, right, we need to heal and the inflammation needs to come down. And the omega-3s come on the scene and do that job. So like that's when we're born, it's like that. And then we start eating all of this stuff that contains omega-6, and suddenly we're out of balance.
Oh my gosh, Tracy, you just golden what you said, the way you explained. I love the way you explained it. It makes so much sense. And I remember when I tested it came 1 to 1. I was like, wow. And Tracy, I know. And you know what? I wasn't even taking the supplement, but at that time, my body was craving for salmon. Salmon nearly every day. Maybe it's not good because it's a big fish, maybe.
For the mercury.
Yeah, I don't know. But like, and it came 1 to 1. And then again, it shows you how body powerful is, whether it's supplement or food, with the foods you have to eat.
We need it from somewhere. We either like we eat a lot of oily fish,
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of oily fish. So wild salmon, anchovies, sardines, and mackerel.
That's a culture in Italy, isn't it? Like that you have.
Yeah, the oily. But Italy is one of the countries that has the highest ratio. We're on a par with the States. You
Oh,
guys are doing better in Ireland and the UK.
oh, I didn't know that.
A
Oh,
little bit, but you're closer to the European average, which is
yeah,
15 to 1.
yeah, yeah.
23 to 1 in Italy because you think what like the Italian diet, what is it? It's pizza and pasta and spaghetti and bread. We love our bread as well and dairy cheeses and you think pizza is omega-6 on omega-6 on omega-6, right?
It totally gets you out of balance with inflammatory and those
Yeah.
pro-inflammatory things. And when you're sick, there's
Yeah.
no.
So, but 97% of the world's population is out of balance. So there's 97, it's a global problem. This is in every continent, every country, because they deliver and test in over 100 countries worldwide, and it is global, and 97% of people. So it's only actually, you are very, very good because it's only 3% of the population that manages to come back into balance with diet alone.
Yeah,
It really is like
yeah.
eating a lot of oily fish.
It is, and look, Teresa, not everyone even like oily fish. So in those cases, what you do, with the supplements, with the testing, when the client comes to you, you do the testing, right? You do the
So
balance.
when the client comes to me, I do the testing is a home blood test. They
Mhm.
sometimes I do it with them in a video call, or I send them a video that walks them through how to do it. But it's a very simple prick test. It's all anonymous independent blood testing. So all you have is a little tracking number. If you lose that, you don't get your test results back. And then you send it off, comes with the envelope, to the Vitas Analytical Services in Oslo Science Park. And they do all of the independent anonymous blood tests. They're one of the most reputable blood testing labs in the world. They work with the National Health Service in the UK, Oxford, Cambridge, Stanford, Harvard, King's College. Yeah, all of the top universities, basically. And then you get your results back online. And for me, one of the most powerful things that convinced me to start my health journey with the balancer was the fact that 95% of people come back into balance in 120 days.
It
Yeah.
is.
So, right, I like you. I'm a big health advocate.
Mm,
Nothing is more important than our health. And I don't even distinguish between physical and mental health,
mm,
right? Because one affects the other so much. It's like almost the chicken or the egg.
mm,
Um, they go hand in hand. Even I would add in our emotional health is interwoven in that. And we can have like 100 problems until we have a health problem, and then we have one problem, right? And yeah, we're only as good as we feel, as
mm,
our health is,
exactly.
right? And they sort like even the people in your Facebook group, just as a small representation of the people on Facebook, there's so many people that have incredible gifts, incredible missions to accomplish, incredible things that they want to achieve in their life, burning desires, a desire to help others, and they know they can. They really have the ability to do that. But we can only do that to the best of our ability when we're feeling well, right? When we're healthy.
Exactly, Gina. What?
Otherwise, then it affects our finances, it affects our relationships, it affects everything and how we feel about ourselves, which, especially as women, is like
Mm.
important, really important.
Oh, God, Jason, that's golden what you said and what you said about, when you're not healthy, your thoughts, your energy, everything, how you feel, it also will be affected, everything. It's just,
Everything turn that goes south. It's, our mind, our thoughts are very much dependent on how we're feeling physiologically and vice versa, right? It's the two-way street.
yeah, absolutely. And Tracy, do you mind touching on how did you get in the what was your story? How did this happen?
Ah, my story started quite soon after I arrived in Italy, actually. So I was in Sicily, right at the bottom, and this was 1995, so total culture shock coming from England. Um, and my parents really didn't want me to be there. So I fell in love with everything there after the first 2 weeks. And I was on this really unhealthy mission to prove a point to my dad that I did have a proper job, that I could earn money. I was working freelance at the time, teaching English. That was why I originally came to Italy. Um, and so I started working crazy hours, really like I was working at the private university, two different language schools, private students, a state school in the mornings, and weekends. I was working every hour I possibly could, almost every hour I was awake to save money to prove to my dad, look, this is a proper job, right? And I was getting more and more exhausted and burnt out. But it was in my 20s. I wasn't even aware of the term burnt out or like being overworked and overwhelmed. And so I ended up creating this, what started out as a coping mechanism. And most of our like unhealthy habits that can even go into addictions start out really as coping mechanisms, as a way to change our inner state and to like do what we need to do during the day. And so my coping mechanism was sugar. And I was eating so much sugary stuff. I had a real sweet tooth in those days. And plus, I'm in Sicily, the land of glorious food and glorious desserts, right? I don't know if you've ever heard of a cannolo di ricotta. Yeah, so I just loved all of their desserts and the ice cream, and but I was eating, and it was getting more and more out of control. And it was totally my shameful secret because nobody knew, not even my boyfriend that I was living with. So I just managed to keep it all secret and it was kind of working. At least I had the energy. But then, right, what happens with sugar? We get the sugar blues. So I'm on this emotional roller coaster, not even aware of what's causing it. And I'm up and then I'm down and then I'm up and then, yeah. And the only way to get back up again was the sugar. I got trapped in that cycle. And then, because I'm also in the land where people live in a bikini for 10 months of the year because it's super hot, everybody's in Sicily is like obsessed with their weight and diets and everything. And I ended up sort of falling into that culture. So when I wasn't like binge eating sugar, then I was starving myself basically and going to the gym like a woman obsessed, right? This was the 90s, the days of step aerobics, right? I never missed a class. um, and so I was actually losing weight, believe it or not. But my body was so malnourished because all I'm eating is sugar or nothing or salads, right? So yeah, and I was got stuck in that cycle that I couldn't break free from. I didn't have the courage. If I could, like anybody who's going through anything, ask for help. It takes so much courage to ask for help. And I didn't have the courage. And so I sort of kind of lived with this I don't know, I don't know what you want to call it, but it was making me miserable and really affecting my emotions. And so I didn't see the connections between my negative thinking, mind out of control, my depression going into anxiety sometimes, and everything that was, yeah, it took me 10 years to break free. 10 years to break free. And then shortly after, with this is roll on by then, I was in the north of Italy. I'd met my husband and I was pregnant with my first daughter. And then I got a diagnosis of gestational diabetes. And so that was kind of my wake up call. I didn't see that one coming. I had a very, very stressful and highly medicalized first pregnancy. And so the doctors were very negative, like, oh my God, you have no idea how many blood tests I had to do and measure your blood sugar levels 3 times a day, strict diet, which is not what you want when you're pregnant. And the doctors said to me, you will definitely get gestational diabetes if you have a second pregnancy, and you would definitely get it as an adult. And I was like, no way, I am not signing up for that. And so I have always like been the one to tell people, nobody knows your body like you. No man, no woman gets to give you a disempowering diagnosis that you need to just take. You get to only you know your body, right? The best. And only you get to decide what you make true for you is your prerogative. And so I was like, no way, man. And so I started studying, I started understanding about nutrition and what my body needs and listening to my body more, like mindfully attuning myself to my body's whispers, what it was asking for, what it was wanting to eat, what I needed. And then through that study, like I did not get a diagnosis of gestational diabetes for my second pregnancy. I had a lovely, calm, unmedicalized pregnancy. And my everything now I track, like my HbA1c test, which is another one that also Zinzino has. Um, Fasting blood sugar, all of my parameters I check. I am perfect. Like really, on the contrary, it's like, yeah, very good blood sugar control. Nobody gets to decide what you make true for you, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That
Yeah.
is
Never
so.
accept a disempowering diagnosis. So this is what I love also about Zinzino is it's giving people back their power, which is all about what I stand for in my coaching program as well. But giving people back their power with their health so they can get themselves tested. They can see what key nutrients and elements their body is missing, and then they can wisely and intelligently supplement exactly what is missing in the exact dosage for their body weight, for their body weight, and then test again afterwards. So
It's nice to actually have a record so you know it is working. Or
yeah,
you.
exactly. It's very powerful. I got a message from one of my customers yesterday who's in Tennessee. "Yeah, I'm back in balance. Yay. Three 3.5 to 1. And so
That's
yeah.
cute.
And I'm seeing crazy numbers. Even just yesterday at 50 to 1.
Yeah.
I've got a customer at 63 to 1.
Oh my God.
So 63 to 1 is also somebody that's had cancer, that's recovering from bowel cancer.
Yeah.
So the
And
beautiful thing is that by taking charge of our health and our nutrition, um, and we come back into balance, 3 to 1 or less, that gives us complete protection value from all of the degenerative diseases.
it's, oh my gosh, yeah, what you're saying, it's amazing and fascinating. I even didn't know that can be 50 or 60 to 1, the ratio,
I've
that.
seen even 110 to 1. That's by somebody had so many health conditions. It's
Mm.
not true, but 110 to 1. It
So,
took her longer than average to come back into balance.
mm.
She came back into balance. It is just a question of time.
It's amazing what you are doing, that helping people to come back to balance, helping them to realize, to connect those dots, that it's not just your internal inflammation. Why do you have those maybe negative thoughts, that negative energy? Want to start healing from inside, that's the message that I'm getting from you. You
Yeah,
actually, you
yeah,
start
exactly. Our
connecting it.
body does have an innate ability to heal. When we can work with our body, listen to your body, become attuned to your body's whispers, right? And your body is always telling you what it needs in every moment of the day. Only we sometimes we override those signals. We tune them out, right? And in fact, one of the biggest things, I'm a big proponent of self-compassion as well and self-love. And so one of the biggest things is when our thoughts turn south, right? We notice that our vibration has dropped and we're feeling our minds sort of either going into fear-based thoughts and worrying, or we're feeling stressed and overwhelmed. And anyway, like our thoughts are basically becoming more and more negative spiral down. The best thing to do is to interrupt that and ask ourselves what we need. Because often there's a physiological need that's not being met. And if we can stop and ask ourselves, it's a question of a gesture of self-compassion. What do I need right now?
Mm.
Do I need do I need a break? Do I need some fresh air and a walk? Do I need a hug? Do I need to have a snack? Do I need some water? I need to rehydrate. Do I need some daylight, some sunshine? Do I need to breathe? Do I need to lie down and have a nap? Do I need to talk to a friend and have a laugh and a chat? There's usually something that we need in that moment.
And just being able to actually recognize and be gentle with yourself and give that what you need is such a simple thing, isn't it? What you're just listing.
Yes, but that is the ultimate gesture of self-love, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was
And
saying,
that allows us to prioritize our well-being and
yeah, it's so important to do this, to practice the self-love, because so many people out there that actually don't like themselves. They are so negative. When you don't like really yourself, when you are hating some parts in you, like it's gonna be reflected on other people, and they rude, they just it's just not nice to be in this state of energy. And
exactly. We want to be around the people that have that good energy. And often it's very challenging to have really, really lovely energy if you're totally in conflict with yourself. The relationship that we have with ourselves sets the tone for every other relationship in our lives.
oh my gosh,
And it
Tracy,
all starts with the conversation we're having in our mind.
those little
Are
bit.
we being nice to ourselves? Right? We're so nice to other people and so mean to ourselves sometimes. Stop that. Like, so I'm all for hardwiring literally certain gestures. And my clients know one of my favorite gestures to hardwire is the pat on the back. Because, like, who else pats you on the back? Seriously, it's really empowering to, like, little moments during your day. You come off a Zoom call, you've had a session with a client, or you cooked a healthy meal, or you handled a difficult conversation with your husband well. It's like, I always time it with walking to the bathroom, but I'm like, well done. Well done, Tracy. You handled that well. You handled that well. It's like strengthening, building our inner cheerleader muscle.
Mm,
Like really, like let's be nice to ourselves. Let's encourage ourselves. Let's give ourselves that love and support that we're looking for, that we're not always getting from others, but we will get it from others when we start giving it to ourselves first. Everything starts with how we're treating how we treat ourselves is literally teaching the universe how to treat us.
oh
Isn't
my
it's the basis of everything.
it's, oh yes, this is so powerful, and I think a lot of people need to hear this.
Mm.
Not changing the state, about the energy they vibrate, about the healing. Because we can be the most amazing practitioners on the planet, right? But if someone is on this low vibration and really not connecting to their heart, not loving, it's very hard to tune in that practitioner and
Ah,
start healing, you know?
I completely agree. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the foundational point for starting point for everything, isn't it?
Mm. I'm so grateful that you brought this subject, because I even was talking this morning on social a little bit about loving yourself here in Ireland. It's a bank holiday. Treat yourself on Monday, it's a day off for all of us. So treat yourself, love yourself. I know it's easy to say, and people probably goes, well, what does she mean? You know, it's hard like to acknowledge you and be you as a number one. So then you are example to other
Yeah,
people to love.
I agree. I agree. But it really is so important.
And Tracy, where people can find you, like how can they work with you if they decide, that okay, I want a Tracy to help me with the testing and everything.
I've got a free gift that I for the next 2 weeks until Valentine's Day. Since and it's the gift it's an energy balance reset session
Oh,
that I've prepared and want to gift to anybody that needs to like balance their energy at the moment, and or just like have that new January's out the way. The longest month of the year is out the way. And now like this is fantastic, fabulous, fun February, and also the month of love. So let's start with self-love, right? Uh,
Awesome.
yeah.
And Tracy, you will be sharing the link with me, right?
I'll share the link. I'll share the link with you, and then you can put it.
Perfect. And then, guys, I'll put in the description where I usually do above the video about the Tracy, and then I'll share that link. Tracy gonna give me the link. And Tracy, you're very, very kind for doing this to my community. So thank you so much on behalf of all of us. So yeah, looking forward to get the free gift. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Um, um, I'm mostly on Facebook. That's the platform that I'm on mostly. And
And you work online, yes?
and I work online, almost exclusively online.
Okay.
And if somebody does want to get themselves tested
Mm.
for their omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, to send me a message, um, so that they can.
And help them to organize that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then if they are
That
completely
is the most powerful gift, right? That gifting ourselves the gift of solid health, of optimizing our health.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
that this really is our best year.
Oh, it is, Tracy, so much, and so grateful that you came on my podcast and to share your experience, your beautiful story with my community. And guys,
Thank
if
you.
it's something you're not feeling, maybe I don't know, well, inside, in your thoughts, in your energy, do contact Tracy. I'm gonna share all the details. Tracy gonna give it to me. I'll share it with you, and do contact Tracy. She's amazing. And Tracy, the final thoughts that you would like to share.
The final thing I would like to say is never believe a thought you think after 9 p.m.
It's brilliant.
Never believe a thought you think on a day that you're tired. Never believe a thought you think when you've had an argument.
That's a chills.
Stop believing at face value the veracity of your thoughts, right? You are not your thoughts, you are the observer of your thoughts. So take a step back, choose, be more deliberate with what you give your attention to. Give your attention to the thoughts that make you feel good, and the thoughts that make you feel miserable or worry or get afraid, let them go, right? Distract yourself. Don't go there. Don't go there with your mind. You don't have to think. Just your mind. It's his job, right? The brain's job is to keep us alive.
Yeah.
So it's rather impartial, and it's sort of giving us 70,000 thoughts a day. It's like, there you go, Ingrida. Have you noticed that you haven't done this? Have you noticed that there is this you could worry about right now? And it's like, also remember tomorrow you have that. Okay, so that's the mind's job.
Yeah.
Your job is, right, the observer of the mind. You get to choose.
Oh,
Okay.
Tracy, that is
And
golden.
reassure, literally, I overcame panic attacks by, and as stupid as this sounds, by talking to my amygdala. Reassure your brain, right? It's telling you all of these worrisome, fear-based thoughts all the day. It's like, oh, do remember that you have the rent to pay. It's just like I haven't got the money. But it's like it's reminding us all these things. The more we can talk to our amygdala, our like stress or fear center in our brain, and reassure it. It's like, okay, I know, I got this. It's all okay. I'm in control. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. I've got this. And yeah, that was literally how I managed to overcome claustrophobia induced panic attacks. Um, and so reassure your mind, right? It's like the little boys, like continually worrying and throwing up worrisome fear-based thoughts. You get to choose what you give your attention to. spend more of your time focusing on the things that make you happy
Oh,
and the thoughts that make you happy.
thank you. That is golden to me personally. I never heard about stop believing after 9 p.m. Wasn't it like whatever you, especially if it's negative, just don't
Yeah.
use what you want to believe. Because yeah, as you said, the brain is the one that wants to protect us. Not necessarily, what if my
Not make us happy, no.
oh, that was so good, Tracy. I'm just so grateful for knowing you and
Thank you. It was lovely. It was an absolute pleasure. And thank you so much for inviting me.
thank you. Thanks, guys, for watching. And yeah, thank you, Tracy. And I'll see you next time then.